Ethan.
What?
Ethan, come with me. There's something I have to tell you.
Mia?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
It's your boy Blitz.
And I'm your boy Blitz&Blurr.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Game Changers Entertainment.
What?
Yo, this is going to be our second review of Resident Evil.
This is
Village.
But anyway, this will be part 2, like he said, but this will be the final wrap up of how we feel about the Resident Evil Village.
Now, we did separate videos for the walkthrough that we did, but the reviews we do separate for how we actually felt about the walkthroughs and the game so far. And there's actual a walkthrough short that I did when we was trying to do a sound check, and then we actually played the game for a little bit, and you get to see Blur be a chicken the whole time. It actually says Resident Evil walkthrough short, Blur's a chicken or something like that. So check that out if you want a real good laugh. All right. So for those of you who haven't seen our reviews, this is part 2. Go check out part 1 if you want to check that out. But what we do is we cover the character, we cover the graphics and how it feel. Now for part 2, since we already covered the graphics and things like that nature, we cover the character, how the character progressed, then we do the story, then so on from there. So if you guys are ready, here we go. All right. So character, how the character developed for you?
I think
By character, we talking about the main protagonist, Ethan Winters. You should know his name because they say his name like 147 times.
Ethan Winters.
It's like Django in the N-word. It was like said so many times during the production. It's crazy.
I think it progressed the way I thought it was going to progress. I gave it a C in part 1. I'm gonna give it a C in part 2 of this.
So that drops right in the middle
as well. Because it doesn't. He really. Even when the bombshell is kind of given to him, you see a little bit of emotion, but it's not like the emotion that you would feel if something really hits you. Like, really, I'm this.
Now, by bombshell, what we talking about, guys, are spoilers. So, spoiler alert.
When you find out that you are actually the mold, or you've been dead, you've been dead since Resident Evil. Mole. So. Spoilers.
Another movie reference. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
The thing is, you found out that you are the mold. You found out that you've died. You've been dead since Resident Evil 7. And so when they dropped that bombshell on you, I kind of knew it the whole game. I even knew that something was wrong with him in 7 because of the way his body parts was coming off. He was sticking back on. So there was definitely something wrong with Ethan. But I think for me, they could have told him that at the beginning of the game. I think they could have told him that, and this is Blur. They could have incorporated that into the game where you had low-level powers to do certain things with your mimicry or with your healing or something that the mole can do to help you traverse the world. Not make you powerful than everything else, because on that island, all the monsters was like level 10 and you level 3 power. You still, it would have been hilarious if when you met the Duke, and he was like, Ethan Winters, mole. That would have been hilarious. For me, I think that they could have, and I'm not going to say it's lazy writing, but I would say that
it's classic Resident Evil.
Classic Resident Evil. I think they could have did a little bit more with Ethan. I think after you found out that what he was, all the things popped into my mind, what he could do. What he could have been like. Even it could still been scary. He could have still had that tension, but I think they misused him.
He's pretty much Wolverine.
Right. I think
he's a healing factor.
Right. I think they misused him in the story as far as the main character. I think it could have been. I think his character could have been so much better.
Okay. Well, for me, the character, I think progressed. It was fitting for. He kept the same persona the entire game.
Right.
He didn't have this innate thing like I'm powerful and stuff like that. He really saw himself as a regular person all the way up to the point he found out that he wasn't. Even when he did, he still struggled to complete the rest of the mission.
Right.
But the main thing that drove him was his determination to save his daughter.
Right.
And I think that's a very endearing trait.
But
what's a more powerful motive than to save your child. That's been cut up into 4 pieces and put into jars and then put in a weird little altar that a woman wants to resurrect her just to pour her daughter that died over 100 years ago.
Spoilers against spoiler, but let me ask you this. I think this could have been part of it. That if Ethan would have known he was his
Mole.
he was that Duke could have said, hey, in order for you to save your life, if you can kill the 4 lords and drain some of the essence, that will make you whole again. So not only do you have that push to save your daughter, but you have that push to be in your daughter's life by surviving.
Yeah.
So they could have had multiple things, a way how to better suit that in that story.
Okay, so they could have addressed that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so so dealing with that, we're not going to really touch Trophy because...
We already did that.
Trophy's Trophy. And we're going to say teleporting. We're going to say that for the end because we got...
Yeah.
I want my boy Blur here to blow your minds with something. And I'm talking like full on...
No, it's not that. It's not that.
All right, so look, it's a good theory. All right, so gameplay. How did the gameplay proceed for you?
Okay. The first 3 bosses you fight, and I'm gonna say first 3, the gameplay was normal.
Lady D, the Puppet Master,
And the fish guy.
and then
The fish guy.
the bad Aquaman.
Yeah.
Dr. Monroe,
And
Dr.
he-
Monroe's Island.
And he was stupid. Yeah, he was stupid. You just go up there and sneak up and take.
Dude, they totally should have made him talk like Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. How you just sneak up and like you had to fight everybody else to get the part of your daughter, and he just had it sitting out, and you just like, yoink.
Yep. So
He's like, hey.
So everything was good. You know, it's classic Resident Evil. But when you got to Heisenberg, now his whole what was it called?
Heisenberg was a beast.
His whole area was nice. The way you had to get to it.
Factory?
The factory was nice.
He had like 7 bosses up in there. Propeller head.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
But my
classic Resident Evil.
My thing is, but once you had to fight him, it goes from being Resident Evil, it goes right into Metal Gear.
Okay, I agree with that.
It goes right into Metal Gear. Again, this is spoiler, not major spoiler, but spoiler that you had to fight him with a mech. Because he's this big hunking metal thing, so you had to fight him with this like 50 caliber.
It's like a go-kart.
Yeah,
with
50 caliber
rocket launcher
and a 50 cal.
Yeah. So during that fight, when you die, I was expecting someone to go, Snake. So
it goes from being horror to like action. I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I understand it was kind of fun, it was funny, but it was like, it just shifted so much to the point you like, I'm in a Metal Gear game.
I think it was perfect. I think it was a breath of fresh air. It was so different from the average Resident Evil boss fight, and then it throws you right back into the lore.
Yeah.
It pulls you out and like hits you with a fresh coat of paint, and then takes you and puts you right back into Resident Evil. But I think it was awesome.
Are we done? We still done with story or gameplay?
We in gameplay.
Okay, go ahead.
And I think it was awesome. I think it was a breath of fresh air. Now, I did not think once he knocks you out of your go-kart, your go Power Ranger go-kart there from your John Deere 7000. I thought I was like, look, dude, I'm running around this joke. This bama throwing
garbage
crates, throwing crates at me. What you call them things? Them big shipping crates or whatever.
Shipping
I'm like,
containers.
Dude, there's no way I can beat this dude. But then when he sucks you up and then you just grab that sucker, that was pure, dude. I felt like, I kind of felt like I was playing Uncharted for a second, because I was James Bond. I was like, oh, you gonna suck me up in the air? Well, you gonna die with me, you mother like It was awesome, man. That was a good.
I'm not saying it wasn't awesome. It's just, to me, it just went like from, I'm like sneaking the werewolf to this big like go Power Rangers.
Dude, it was so satisfying when he thought he had you dead to right and you grab your go.
But then it goes from that.
So awesome.
Well, I want to leak into story because after that fight, Mother Miranda comes down and you're like, okay, now we're back into the horror aspect of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because she tears out your heart.
Oh yeah.
She's like, and she comes, and then she does a sneak attack.
Here she comes.
Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. She goes right, but she disappears, then reappears in back of him and take out his heart and snatch it. And then she's pouring it all
She
over
comes
her
up from
face.
between your legs.
Yeah. I mean,
She's like,
and just grab your heart.
yoink.
So then I was like, oh God. She just like, oh yes.
He said, come out and face me. Come out and face
and
me.
she did.
She's like, yoink. It's like, you already dead, baby.
Yeah.
I got your heart.
So it goes back into from the game, but we're going back. We end the story now because it, you know, I kind of liked it. Like, oh God, dang, she got him.
She boss level.
But then you can be. Then one of the things is you become Chris, and I'm not saying that gameplay wasn't good, but Chris got like unlimited ammo. He
did. But see, when playing Chris, I realized he wasn't as fast as
right.
Ethan.
Right. He wasn't.
Even from changing out the weapons and doing everything. I mean, he had more ammo and he had a better gun, but he was half the man that Ethan was, and the movements and jumping and things like that.
So you can see
but
how
it was refreshing to get to play as him.
Yeah.
Too, though.
It was good because you got to really play play a person from the original Resident Evil.
True.
Because so it felt good to get back into the gameplay of somebody original.
And it was pure pandemonium.
Yep.
There was no stuff popping out. When it got to that final board where you had to mark that part of the
What's his name?
Castle. Who?
No, the one the guy you fight. Isn't there a guy you fight before then, or is that fight after that? We had the mark.
Urias?
Yeah.
Urias is after.
Yeah.
Once that missile comes down and destroys that thing, but you had to fight off the horde of people while you trying to hold the laser pointer at the thing. Man, of course I played it on hard like a dummy, but that was tough. But once that explodes, then you can get down in there and you fight Urias. Urias is the dude that when you're in the village,
he has a big hammer,
and you fight all the werewolves, and the werewolves stop, and he jumps down and then mean mugs you with the black eyes and all that other stuff. And then he go, huh? His wife was calling him, so he jumped off. Whatever. That's Urias.
Come and clean the
dude with a
kitchen.
giant hammer. Chris takes him out.
Yeah.
With the help of some
Well,
support
it's
fighters.
again classic Resident Evil. When if you have never played Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil, the only way you can beat the nemesis, well not the nemesis, the monster at the end, you have to have a rocket launcher, and the rocket launcher is thrown from the air from the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
So it's still the same thing. I think it harkened back into the original Resident Evil where human fighting beast. I got to use everything I can.
Yeah.
So to me, it harkened back. It was just a bigger rocket launcher.
Yeah, it wasn't the best boss fight in the game. I think the best boss fight goes to Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Lady Miranda, I don't say that's the best because I feel bittersweet about it because Lady D was like one of the best Resident Evil characters.
I think, but
even though they gave all the hype to Heisenberg as being the most powerful one.
Yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu was like such an original character.
But I think everybody.
Man, props to Capcom.
I think when they propped her up as the one that follows you, people thought she would be following you through the whole game.
Yeah.
I think she was. Everybody was looking forward to her.
They kind of made sure that way would happen.
They kind of made her feel like she was the tyrant or the Mr. X from So I think that's why everybody loved her. And then for a female woman to be following you.
Yeah, built like that.
She's a brick. House.
She's mighty. I just letting it all hang out. Ow.
Yeah. Well,
So, all right. So Lady Dimitrescu is your first boss. The Puppet Master's the second boss.
I think that was the best board as far as being.
That was
creepy. Creeped out.
If
that
you
was
watch
the
our
best
first
board.
review, we talk about that freaking little baby. Dad.
Yeah.
And you got to hide from that sucker in the cabinet and then under the bed. I wouldn't touch my kids for like 3 days after I saw that. It was just freaky. All right, and then you do the fish dude, Dr. Monroe. You do Monroe, and then you get Heisenberg.
The fish fight was okay. I mean, it was okay. I mean, he had to drain the thing.
Yeah, when he did the acid attack, he had to get up under the canopy. It was kind of challenging. Like I said, I played a little hard. It was challenging.
I think he was the weakest
because his ball
boss.
was a windmill.
Yeah, but I think he was the weakest boss, and the reason why I say that because compared to all the rest of the bosses, to me he was the weakest boss.
Technically, the Puppet Master, all you had to do was play hide and seek and find him, and then beat the crap out the doll, and then you win.
Yeah,
so that was the weakest boss.
No,
the mentally you had to go through.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that baby was there for it. I never let it catch me, but. Okay, then you do Heisenberg, which was super over the top, Dragon Ball Z, Cyberpunk, Resident Evil.
But Mother Miranda's fight was no more than Lady D's fight, flying around, coming after you. It just was in a closed area.
And you had some little bit of help from Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was that fight, and then how do you feel about the game as a whole? Like once you got to the last part and you beat Miranda, how do you feel about? How'd you feel? Did you feel like, and then of course Ethan sacrificed himself, and
I didn't. From what I read and what I heard, I was hoping that Ethan would be in the last game because it's supposed to be 7, 8, and 9 supposed to be all dealing with Ethan and his family. I was hoping that Ethan would have been in the last game. He might still be in it. We don't know. Because the fact of the matter is, even though I give his character a C, I want to see it finished out with the trilogy.
Yeah.
Whether he died, I think he died too soon. I think they should have killed him, and if they want to kill him in 9.
I would like to see how he got out of there. If he survived, I'd like to see how.
But as far as the whole game, I think it was a classic Resident Evil game.
And it's still replayable now.
Minus Heisenberg, which brought me back to like that Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6 type of...
You didn't like the Heisenberg fight?
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying it just took you out of the...
Oh, it didn't feel like classic Resident
Evil. Right. It was like you said, it was refreshing.
Resident Evil thing is you're underdog fighting something you should not be able to beat.
But this time you was almost with the little lawnmower thing.
Yeah, the lawnmower crash. John did.
So the whole game, if I had to give it we're going to give it a grade. I think the whole game to me is a B+.
Okay.
I give it a B+ because even though I didn't like the character, the supporting characters around them were interesting enough to propel the story.
I am on board with that. I agree with everything you said. Now, except the Ethan character didn't bother me at all because he was a stoic person that was going through so much.
Right. Okay, I got you.
So with that being said, that's our total wrap up. We give it, both of us give it a B+ for our various reasons for the whole full fight. So let's get into, this is a little bit something extra we're doing for you guys because he came up with a very good point before we start filming today. So talk about, okay, so we was talking about the Duke, right? We feel, and because when Duke, when you find out you mode and you're revived after your heart was taken out by Miranda, which is right after the Heisenberg fight, you're inside of Duke's cart. When you look down, Duke has an insignia just like all the other bosses.
Yes, he does.
I think his was a double cheeseburger and fries or something. He had like a 200-piece chicken. Is that what it was? Like 200-piece nugget or something like that? Well, actually, if you... it wasn't actually nuggets. I'm sorry. It should have been.
Yeah, because big as he is.
That's a big boy. So he had an insignia, and Ethan was like, "What or who are you?"
He said he couldn't.
He said, "You know what? I can't even answer that." I think, or we think, that the Duke was another Lord. We think he was one of the experiments, one of the original ones, or something to that nature. I didn't see any letters about him in a castle, in a mansion, or whatever, and that could have been intentional, or maybe I just didn't find it.
But he was there on the guest list for Lady D's house.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did write that he was giving the people papers from out of town, from the outside world.
So
the thing I came up with.
So why didn't why didn't Miranda totally kill him? Why would Lady D entertain regular humans?
I think with Duke, and this is me and him talked about, that Mother Miranda, the way that Mother Miranda was going between their home and back to the village, because Duke has the power of teleportation. That's his power.
Okay.
Because the reason why I say that, because every place you find Duke, he's not walking. There's no way this dude can walk.
He don't even have shoes on.
Right.
And his pants are on his legs, but he wears a cloth over his thighs and stuff like that because he probably can't.
I think he has the unique power to teleport, because if you read some of the letters, some of the people say that when they would look from the news on the outside world, Mother Miranda
didn't like him
giving it to him. But I think Duke got away with some things he was doing because he was the only one that can get Mother Miranda from point A to point B. Because in part 7, she takes Ethan's wife and locks her up in the castle and basically replaces herself, because she's a shapeshifter. Spoilers. Spoiler alert, she's a shapeshifter, and she...
Yeah, say spoilers before you say...
I know. But we're going to put spoilers at the title of this thing, spoiler.
No,
but the thing is, she was the one who took Ethan's wife's place So the thing is,
at the Baker
at the
event
Baker
in Louisiana.
So I think the thing is why Duke is allowed to do some of the things he do because he has the power to teleport. Think about when you first meet Duke, he's in this carriage. The second time you meet Duke is in Lady D's house.
Right in the castle.
So how did he get there? He ain't walk. I think he has some way of getting from point A to point B very fast.
I say he can teleport.
So I think the thing is, I think that's why Mother Miranda was able to get from place to place and why he was allowed to do some of the things he was doing because he knew the his friend, because he mentioned his friend
the other merchant from Resident Evil 4.
So that means he had to know that merchant.
So that means he'd probably been to that village.
So I think Duke, my thing is I think Duke is teleporting Lady Miranda wherever she needs to go, and I think that's why she allows him to do some of the things that she's doing.
So to further explain that, what he's saying is because at the end of 7, which is with the Baker family, Lady Miranda, there's information in the game itself that she found out about that incident and was able to go there. And while all that was going on, originally it was his wife because she was controlled by Eve. All right, because she was infected by Eve. Lady Miranda was not infected by Eve. Lady Miranda was infected by the actual source to make them create Eve in the first place. So Lady Miranda wasn't under her control. So Lady Miranda went to the Baker's family after the incident and
before the incident ended.
Yeah, before
the incident was still going on with Ethan, and she ends up getting the daughter, with his wife, out of there.
Yeah. When Lady Miranda comes out, switches place with the wife, and sends the wife back to the castle. Because when you find the wife, when Chris finds the wife in Lady Miranda's cave office, bat cave thing there, whatever.
Hey, I'm Batman.
She's locked up in a cell, and she says she trapped me here and was experimenting on me. Right. So, how is she taking the wife's place and living with Ethan and having a baby and getting back and forth to experiment on the wife, unless she was able to teleport there,
and I think
which could have been where Duke came in. Right. Now, I'm gonna give you a second. Okay, all right, just wipe your slob off because I know you're probably like, duh. All right, so I'm about to blow your mind again. All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, at the end of the game, the ending that you see where Rose is at the cemetery, she wants to see her father's grave, and she's like 15, 16 years old, and then she, roughs the guy up, blah, 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 they leaving. She says, I can do things Chris don't even know I can do, so I can't wait to see that. But when they're leaving, you see there's this big thing online about how when they're driving down the road, you can't see that it's Ethan, but it's a person standing there, and they slow down to stop. Now, originally, I thought because Eve had like this hive mind kind of thing mentality, or some astral plane that she dealt with, that's how she connected to everybody.
Right.
That's how she controlled all the spores. And then because when Ethan had died from Lady Miranda taking out his heart, that's where he went and he saw Eve, and he was able to commune with her. So I think there may be like an astral plane they can communicate on. So Rose could be seeing him in an astral plane as a projection, but because Ethan is supposed to be a part of 7, 8, and 9, I'm gonna tell you what I really think happened. You ready?
Duke saved him.
I think Duke, because he can teleport, grabbed Ethan out of that explosion and teleported out of there before it went critical. Because remember now, because it shows him walking in there, he was all beat up, and then it showed Chris getting him into the copter,
right.
And then the explosion came and stuff like that, and it showed him, clicking the button or whatever the case may be. But I think the Duke was able to snatch him out of there. Now, even though his heart was gone, and that's why he started to degrade, because he used the extremity of his power because his heart was taken out. But who's to say?
But I think him being so close to the actual source would allow him to regenerate, because remember the mold comes from that original source.
Capcom, good luck in explaining Ethan's arrival in 9 if he is, because Rose is like 16, 17.
Right.
And Chris and his crew been all over that site. They would have found him.
I think Duke, because Chris never mentioned Duke.
He hasn't.
So I don't think Chris might have never seen Duke.
Didn't he get the parts for that the super duper go-kart from the Duke? I think he mentioned something about the Duke buying parts from Duke or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought he did.
So I think, Maybe he did. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But I think that Duke plays an intricate part in the story because I think he's the one that can get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he's so big, you wouldn't expect him to be able to go from, like, he's in this office and we're talking, and then we go in the front porch and he's right there.
That's not to mention he was in a factory in the elevator.
Yeah, so
all his goods.
Right.
How's that even possible?
So I think that Duke has the power to teleport, or like Nightcrawler, able to open up a portal, and because he has powers, levitate himself and open up.
He has goods wherever he teleports.
Yeah. So.
And then he was like, "Duh, would you like to buy some ammo, Pilgrim?"
So we hope you like our second half of our
yes,
review.
we let it run a little bit longer because we wanted to cover the Duke.
But I think the thing is also that we're trying to keep them, at a certain length, so it'll be easier to digest. Because I know most people watch videos while they're doing other things. So we just want to thank you for rocking out with us.
Yo, thank you
for rocking out with Village.
Thank you for rocking with GCE. Game Changers Entertainment.
That's right. Do us a favor. Give us the HBO special, which means what?
Help our brother out.
Come on. Well, how do y'all help us out? First of all, we want to say subscribe. Mm-hmm. Give us a thumbs up, bing, or a thumbs down.
No.
I mean, we don't want to, but if we could do something better, we're always good with constructive criticism. And also, man, share it with everybody so that we can get this community growing. So as we bring you more content, we will be able to do a lot more.
And y'all also notice too that we are starting to put timestamps down in the description.
Yes.
So you can go to specific parts of the video after you watch it a fourth or fifth time.
Yeah, fourth or fifth time. So we just want to thank everybody, current and new subscribers.
Yes.
Thank you for rocking with us.
Thank you.
You make GCE possible.
Thank you.
And we're out of here. This is your boy Blur.
This is your boy Blitz.
And we'll GCE you what?
Later.
Peace.
Thank you, everybody.
But guess what? She's still a brick house.
She's a brick house. She's mine and my tail. So suck all your blood out. Oh, she's a brick house.
And God's been God.
My air solo.
Peace out, guys. We'll GC you later.
Deuces.